In the heart of East Texas, where the piney woods stand tall, there's a place that's filled with history, where warm hearts call. From Big Sam to the Bearcats, pride runs deep and strong. In Huntsville, Texas, we sing our song. With love and hospitality, we open up our doors. In this beautiful town, blessings we explore. Sting 'em hornets, beat 'em up cats, Sam Houston State, where dreams are at. Good morning, Huntsville, we find our way, guided by God's love every single day. From parks and recreation, where children laugh and play, to the historical treasures that take our breath away. In the piney woods, we find peace and rest. Huntsville, Texas, truly blessed. With love and hospitality, we open up our doors. In this beautiful town, blessings we explore. Sting 'em hornets, eat 'em up cats, Sam Houston State, where dreams are at. Good morning, Huntsville, we find our way, guided by God's love every single day. Yeah. In every sunrise, in every prayer, God's grace surrounds us everywhere. Through the highs and the lows, we stand as one. In Huntsville, Texas, His will be done. Sting 'em hornets, eat 'em up cats, Sam Houston State, where dreams are at. Good morning, Huntsville, we find our way, guided by God's love every single day. Sam to the Bearcats, our spirit shines so bright. In Huntsville, Texas, we live by faith, we walk in light. With love and hospitality, we greet the world anew. In this blessed town, our dreams come true. Whoa. In every sunrise, in every prayer, Huntsville, Texas, truly blessed.
Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Coppin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Gay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union,
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning, Huntsville. Rob's not here today, so I'm filling in. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I just threw that at you like, what, 5 seconds ago, Jason?
Yeah, that was great, Rob. Thanks.
You know how I do, man. You know, it's off the cusp. It's what made there's a lot of radio guys that have been extremely successful, but the things that they talk about, you know, there's no way I would ever talk about it. And so that's the inspiration today, is hold true to what you believe in your heart and don't wander off the path, you know. Sometimes, you know what, though? Sometimes it is good to explore. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but sometimes it is good to kind of go off the path a little bit. Now in life, you need to stay, you know, you need to try to stay as straight and narrow as you can. But, you know, in adventure, it's good to kind of go off the path a little bit. I have no idea where I was going with that, man. I was like, man, I'm going down a rabbit hole that I can't get out of this morning.
No, what you were trying to say is you were trying to throw this at me to see what an adventure it would be.
Yeah, so there we go.
I think that's what they make people that go to college, like my kids are in college now, to take classes outside their major. You know, there may be something that you might be interested in that you don't even know that you're interested in until you venture down that field a little bit.
Well, that's you know, it's amazing how you know, when you just stay positive and have a good outlook on life. I think a lot of times we're just going to knock the inspiration out right away this morning. You know, I feel like if you're down and out, which we all have those times, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I kind of feel like, you know, if you can focus on trying to stay positive as much as possible, there's doors that the Lord will place in front of you, and you won't see them if you're in a negative mindset.
Right.
But if you're positive and optimistic and you look forward to the future and you're thankful for the blessings that have been placed in your life, then those doors are going to be there and you're going to see it. Perfect examples when we went up to North Dakota, you know. That was a tough situation. We didn't want to leave here, but with Braylon and our family growing, we knew that we had to find something. And I was staying kind of in my talent of what I felt called to do at the time. And man, if I would have been negative about everything, here's a perfect example. I went to Florida, flew to Florida to the Gators, and met with their athletic department. Didn't get that opportunity, and if I would have been bitter and negative about that would have never connected me to a guy named John. John's connected to Learfield, and that would have never opened up the idea to even think about North Dakota State.
Right.
And because of staying positive, God had placed those doors in front of me. And if I would have been bitter and sour about it, I would have never seen those doors.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I'm starting a sermon series starting this Sunday that talks about kind of the mental health things that the Bible talks about. You know, mental health is a big issue in our world today. People suffer from that. And the Bible has a lot to say about that, about the positive mindset, surrendering your mind over to the Lord instead of all these other avenues. And I think that especially for our younger people that grew up with social media, there's immediate reaction to anything that you do or say based on social media, and you start going down that wormhole and you begin reading what other people say and what other people are doing, and you look at other people's lives and you think, man, why can't my life be like that? Because we tend to only show on Facebook or Instagram the most positive sides of ourselves. And when you go down that wormhole, it can really affect the way that you think. And if you do start getting those negative thoughts in your head and start just focusing on what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is saying, and it can lead you to a very destructive place.
And have you ever been like in a mindset where you get angry and you know that you shouldn't be angry, but it's like you can't stop it, and it creates an avalanche, like a snowball that you just can't stop?
Yeah. It's the same thing with like worrying, anger, all these things. It can, you focus on these and you dwell on these things, and you may be telling yourself, well, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm not going to worry about this. But in not saying you're not going to worry about it, you begin worrying about it. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes it's hard to stop, like you said, the avalanche. But what you have to do is, I believe, is really change your mindsets. Like you said, remove yourself from that situation. I think, like I said before, I think social media has a big player, especially in younger kids' lives, about the way they feel about themselves. And I think for a lot of them, the best thing they could do is just unplug.
That's such a good word. I mean, think about as adults too, not just young people, but adults. And don't do this. Here's another thing too that I'll say this morning, and we'll have our intro here in just a minute. You know, this is just something really important to talk about. Is don't get discouraged if you're at a place in life to where you feel that this isn't where you want to be, because everything is an opportunity for growth. And, you know, I always heard people always said, find joy where you're at. And I believe that that's true. But I also believe that if you've been at something for many years and the joy is not there anymore, then it's time to start looking for something else.
Question.
But still be thankful and grateful for where you're at. But it's okay to think about the next step. I got a perfect example. I got a buddy who works for the city of Austin, and he is just I love him to pieces. He's a believer, but he has just been miserable in the environment that he's in for the last 10, 15 years, and I can tell that it's taken a toll on him. And he talks to me about it all the time. And he's in a situation to where his family is battling some pretty severe illness, and he feels like. He's like, I want to get out of here at some point, but I can't because I've got bills to pay and medical things to do. And I've just encouraged him as he's encouraged me. I said, man, just continue to pray about it and just ask for good things to come your way that day, and maybe be a light to all of these people that are around you that are bringing you down.
Absolutely.
But there does come a point to where it's eventually like, okay, enough's enough, and I'm going to move on.
We have this sign I put in the house that says, nothing changes if nothing changes. Sometimes I think we have to change our mindset, change our surroundings, change our career path, or whatever it is. If you're just going through a never-ending cycle, how do you expect it to change if you don't change something?
There was you'll like this story as a pastor. There was this a story that I heard. It's a story of a story.
All
so
right.
You know how it's been probably convoluted through the channels over the years. But it was a pastor that was he did these crusades, and it was in Louisiana. And they had these healing crusades, and people would show up and drove. Some of those are pretty neat, like the tent, the tent revivals and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But this guy, his motto was, "You quit y'all stinking thinking," and. And he was sitting here and he was talking during a service, and this was the story that I was told, and it was kind of funny. I never thought about it. I never thought about the phrase that I always say, and my buddy Joshua Harrison, I say this phrase all the time, and it came from this story. It was one of these crusades, and he's like, I believe somebody, and I'm not making fun, I'm not poking fun at this, because I don't want to be, make fun of something, but he was saying, all right, somebody's been healed of diabetes or something like that. And there was this guy comes running, this big old boy was out there and had a shirt on that didn't fit him. And so he had a big old hairy belly.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's me. And the way the story goes, this guy comes running down the aisle at this church. And the pastor Buzzy goes, get on down here and get the rest of it. And he goes, get your hairy belly down here. so that's where if you ever hear me say the phrase, get on down here and get the rest of it, that's where that phrase came from. And so Joshua Harrison, I joke about that all the time. So Josh will send me a text. He's like, get your hairy belly down here and get the rest of it, man. I thought you'd enjoy it. It's a good story.
Yeah, that is good.
And I'm sure you've got, hundreds of those type of jokes and stories that you've collaborated over the years. So
not one quite like that.
That'll be next week. Come up with those, Jason.
Yeah,
so,
I will. All right.
Well, hey, it's good to have you in here. I appreciate all of y'all getting on the stream this morning and getting the rest of it here today on Good Morning Huntsville. Thanks for being a part of our show as we celebrate all good things happening here in Huntsville, Texas. Got a great show lined up today on episode 298. We are 2 away from 300, which will happen on Monday. And we're looking forward to celebrating our 300th episode. But, hey, we celebrate every episode. As we get started, I want to say a big thank you this morning to Paul Oley of the the gallery for all of your custom framing, photography, and more. Go by and see my good friend Paul. Our going saying here is, Paul, we love you, man. And so we appreciate all that you do here in the community. Again, it's Paul Oley, the Gallery, 1201 University. Huge shout out as well to Elliot Herzlich online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Elliot can take care of you. Any jewelry questions, maybe you got something that needs repaired. Elliot is the guy here in Huntsville. He will take excellent care of you. In fact, had a call with Elliot yesterday. He's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks, Jason. And, man, they were traveling. He and his wife, Lisa, they were traveling all over Europe. Told me that he had been to Greece and all. And sometimes when he goes on these expeditions, he brings back jewels.
All right.
So I'm going to see what kind of jewels he brought back this time.
Yeah, but I'd love to experience some of that.
Every time he tells me about these trips, I think of what was the Indiana Jones. I think of he's like Indiana Jones, running through mazes and stuff, capturing the prize and the jewels. So real quick this morning before we get to our foundation sponsor, this has been an ongoing thing here on the show now. And today, let's see if I can capture this, Jason, because today it's not just one. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There's 3 today, and I'm trying to do this live as we get rolling here, and I may miss them. Let's see if we can get these. Jason, I may have your help on this. Can you hold this right here and kind of wiggle it on those little guys?
Oh, yeah.
You never know what's going to happen on the show, and let me see if I can pull this in. There we go. Jason, look at this. We have – how many of these little guys do we have today?
I think it's 3.
3 of them.
Waiting for them to fight here.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Oh, look, there's one crawling up the pole up there. There's one jumping.
He's sitting on top of the pole.
All right. Well, you never know what we're going to do on this show. There you go. Perfect. That's a distraction every day now. Literally is ADD, squirrel.
Yeah, really.
And there's some humor this morning because it wasn't just one. There was 3 that were throwing me off. All right. Well, again, thanks for being here. And as always, on this Thankful Thursday, huge shout out to First Baptist Jason Bay. And always enjoy having you. It's a lot of fun on Thursdays, and appreciate you being here with us, man. So
I'm glad to be here.
What's been new in your world? You know,
oh man,
I know you had fun last couple weeks. You went to the George Strait concert. We talked about that.
Yeah,
VBS just happened.
VBS happened, but I have some. You know, last week I encouraged all the people to watch the Aggies in the national championship game, and now this week I am an Aggie. But sometimes I think that Aggie stands for agony.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard the news, but not only did the Aggies lose, but the very next day, University of Texas, steals the coach away. He doesn't even just gets off the bus after they come home, goes into the locker room, gathers his stuff, and leaves to the University of Texas. And now that's just typically being an Aggie right there.
Oh, man. Well, hey, credit A&M, though, man. They were down in that game, 5-6 runs? They come back to within 1.
They come back. But, I mean, the whole thing is blown up now. I don't know what to think anymore. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I heard the news, and I know there's Aggies out there just like myself just thinking this is just the life of an Aggie, and then there's those Longhorns that are just laughing in our face. But that's the life.
Not to like make this anything about me, but I've got in fact, I told a guy this yesterday, and I don't say this in a rude way, and in the media industry, you just learn that you ignore the 1%.
Yeah.
Well, there's a 1% in these parts here in this area that don't like me anymore because I went to NDSU.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, a guy told me, he goes, I used to like it. He's like, I don't care for you anymore. I was like, well, thanks for being blunt. I said, why? He goes, because you traded us. He wasn't joking. He was for real. And I said, come on, man. I said, I had a family to take care of, Right. So when I heard about that coach, I thought of that. I was like, man, there's 3 or 4 people in this community that won't talk to me anymore.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean, my father-in-law and my father-in-law and mother-in-law both were Texas graduates, and they always gave us a hard time, and I know that they're going to be with the Lord now, but I know that they're just eating it up, knowing that they took the Aggies coach day after they made it to the College World Series for the first time.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't know where your sensitivity level was on this issue, and I was going to say something, and you brought it up, but you've handled it very well, Jason. So,
well, I'm kind of had a few days to digest it, but it's a sad thing. And then the whole team I read about this morning, the whole team is pretty much has now declared for the transfer portal.
Yeah,
so
that stuff is out of hand.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. So the whole team is just, what's going to happen next?
This whole transfer portal thing, in my opinion, I've seen it firsthand, especially when I was at NDSU for that short year, and love those folks and that team and the coaches there. In fact, I still talk to several of those guys, and it was just heartbreaking because it's almost like these schools are investing a lot in these, especially the small. It's like a Sam Houston. I mean, there's resources from donors and other people that are funneling into these schools to get these athletes here. But then the athletes want to see things at the next level, even though we're now here, we're Division I FBS. But what happens is the students, basically it's like, man, these smaller schools build them up and get them going, and then boom, they're gone. And I'm kind of on the fence about what to think, because in one sense, I'm thinking if I was a student athlete, of course I'd want to get the best exposure possible. But then I also think, because I'm also a very loyal person, to some degree, that I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'd want to be loyal to the team that brought me in the first place. Yeah. And a perfect example of that was a guy named Savion Flagg here, used to play basketball for Sam Houston State. Coach Hooten approached Savion Flagg. He was the first school to reach out to him. And Savion began to get other offers, got it from Texas A&M, went to play basketball for Texas A&M. Well, his senior year, they decided they weren't going to play him as much, and so he was able to, transfer to another school. Guess where he came? Played his final year at Sam Houston. The reason he did that is because he said, he told me this. He goes, Jason, Coach Hooten was the very first guy to reach out to me in high school, and he goes, that meant something to me.
Right.
And he goes, of course, when A&M called and I was going to take that opportunity, but when I realized that I didn't have any more playing time and those opportunities were gone for me, he goes, I remembered the guy that thought of me first. And he came back, and that is incredible loyalty.
Right.
And it speaks a lot of Coach Hooten, too.
Well, I mean, college athletics is changing so rapidly with the NIL and also the transfer portal. Used to, college signing day was a big day. You were making a commitment to a university that you were going to stay with for the next 4 years. Now it's not that big a deal at all, because that's just a 1 year. It's a 1 year commitment basically, and it's I think a lot of the college athletes today, they want it both ways. They want to be paid like professionals, but at the same time they don't want to be treated like professionals. I mean, in the professional sports, you sign a contract, and that you're going to get paid, but you're also going to expect to perform. You're going to expect to be treated like a professional. But I don't know. There's got to be a happy medium.
I thought, man, I'm going to ministry. I don't have to worry about any of this anymore. The ministry has its own things that are very important. And I was telling this to Linda yesterday, our administrator, and I said, I really do miss. In fact, I posted a memory of one of my most favorite games that I ever had the privilege to call, and it was versus Stephen F. Austin in the Battle of the Piney Woods, and loved working with Brian. And I really miss. Not just specifically here, but in general. I miss broadcasting college athletics. It was a whole different world, a different atmosphere. It was a lot of fun. But sometimes you go back and those are the thoughts. You start beating yourself up. Man, did I make the right decision by leaving NDSU? And they invested so much in me. And did I burn any bridges? And that's just the enemy trying to bring you down.
Right.
But I told this to Linda yesterday. I said, the work that we are blessed to do now through the local church. In my opinion, I'm not knocking any broadcast or anything like that, but the work that we do, in my opinion, for what I do, I have so much more fulfillment now, knowing that the things that we do and that we're blessed to do literally have a chance to change somebody's life eternally.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about just 3 hours of joy and winning the big game, because in sports, this is what I've learned. You get excited, you get rowdied up, and then you get let down.
Yep.
And then you start the cycle over again. As a Cowboys fan, we've been dealing with that for 26 years.
Yeah, no question. And the thing about it is, you're working towards a goal, which is great to learn, in life, to work towards a goal. And then you achieve that goal, but then there has to be something more. There has to be something more. And I think that's where, for athletics, for so many athletes, you see a lot of them are connected in their faith, because they understand that there has to be that balance. There are earthly prizes to win, but at the end of the day, once you've achieved those things, everybody realizes there has to be something more than this. And I think for the athlete that doesn't have a relationship with God, it's a constant cycle that never ends. They're always trying to bring some sort of fulfillment somewhere. They're trying to meet that sense of satisfaction, which is never going to be achieved through worldly means.
Yeah, that's good, Jason. Well, we're going to take a quick break. Our friend Steph Vallie is here from Magnolia Kennel, and we're so excited to have Steph today. We're going to be talking about a little pet safety during the summer. Stephanie and I were talking the other day at our WCRC meeting, and she brought up some good points, so we're going to be talking about that. Checking in on Stephanie, too, see what she's been up to lately. Things have been busy, 60 plus in some instances. And what does that mean? Well, she'll explain it here in a little bit. Hey, and something new, too, that we started, thanks to Jason. Jason always has the news you can use.
Yes.
Well, we have taken some of the news ideas, thanks to Jason, and we are now doing a daily segment. And I posted it this morning, but be on the lookout for it now in the late afternoon, early evenings of the impossible question. And we'll talk about it on the show.
All right.
The day before, you'll have a chance to answer. There's the squirrels walking by the studio, man. I mean, these guys just don't stop.
They know your weakness, Rob.
Well, we're going to post it on social media the evening before, starting tomorrow. Now, I posted it this morning, but starting today, we'll post tomorrow's question this evening. That'll give you a chance to try to figure it out. But here is today's impossible question.
Here's today's impossible question brought to you by Hello Huntsville. The term for this item that you use at mealtime dates back to the 14th century, but contrary to one myth, it was not invented by Leonardo da Vinci.
All right, there's the question, so think about that as we take our first break. Steph Vallie joins Jason on the other side. Stay with us, more to come. And hey, by the way, our Thankful Thursday is brought to you by First Baptist Church. Check us out online, fbchuntsville.org. Keyword today is hot, H-O-T. It's a little hot outside, and all you got to do is text that in. I just wanted to remind folks how hot it is. That's why we made the keyword hot this week. Hot, and along with your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line, that number 936-339-0139. We'll do $20 today. So $20 going Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. All you got to do is text in hot, 936-339-0139 on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. We'll have a word from our sponsors. More to come. Stay with us. It's your show. Steph joins us on the other side. This is Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville, where we've been caring for your furry family members for over 4 decades. Nestled at 877 IH 45 South, our kennel is a perfect retreat for your pet. With a climate-controlled facility, spacious exercise yards, we ensure a comfortable and enjoyable stay. At Magnolia Kennel, we offer a range of options including overnight boarding, extended stay boarding, and doggy day out. But that's not all. We also provide additional pampering services like baths and nail care to keep your pets looking and feeling their best. Making a reservation is a breeze at magnoliakennel.com. We take great pride in our dedication to the community, supporting our local fire departments by providing oxygen pet masks. Stay connected and enjoy adorable pet updates by following us on Facebook. Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville is where dogs get to be dogs. Visit us at magnoliakennel.com to book your pet's next stay. We can't wait to meet your 4-legged family members.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Here we grow again. Tomorrow's Promise is excited to announce our 3rd location to better serve the families of Walker County and surrounding areas. At Tomorrow's Promise, we are more than just childcare. We pride ourselves on partnering with parents and creating a place where every child is respected, loved, and nurtured in the highest quality environment. See what makes us the perfect fit for your child and their needs. Schedule a tour and learn more about Montessori.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tpms.live for more information. Education you can trust. Hey friends, Rob Hipp here for Elliott's Jewelers. I wanted to take a brief moment to let you know if you're looking for someone in the jewelry business right here in Huntsville, look no further than my good friend Elliott Herslick. He's helped me out time and time again, whether it was that wedding band that I needed a while back or that special ring for Bridget. He's always been there for me. He goes above and beyond. He's also a person who gives back to the local community. I like to do business with those who give back, and that's exactly what Elliot Herzlich of Elliot's Jewelers does. Hey, if you feel like you don't know what to do, maybe you don't know where to turn, what to look for, Elliot is the person. Again, it's Elliot's Jewelers. You can visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com for more information. And when you call him, let him know that you heard from his good friend Rob Hipp. Again, it's Rob here for Elliot's Jewelers. Visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com.
All right, friends, back at it here. Time now. 7:59. We got back right before 8. So that means you got 1 minute to get to work. So we have made it. You don't have to go find a job today. So, Jason, but if you are late, is that a good rule of thumb, bring food? Do you think that actually works? This is debatable.
Probably does.
Yeah.
I would almost think.
It's like the squirrel thing. Take them someplace else.
Take them somewhere else. All right, well, we're back at it here as we continue on this morning. Another edition of Good Morning Huntsville. Check this out. Steph Vallie joined us. Good morning, Stephanie. What's going on?
Good morning.
Good to see you today. Always good to see your bright, sunshiny smile on this sunshiny Thursday. And
Try.
Steph, it's been so awesome, I guess over these last 6 months or so, getting to know you and your husband, and I just love the energy that you bring wherever you are. I just wanted to publicly tell you that this morning.
Well, I appreciate that. I try.
Well, you do such a wonderful job just promoting not only what you do with your business, which is important, but you promote a lot of things in this community. When we go live, you're always sharing our broadcast. You're always tagging the followers. That means so much to us. But then even way more important than that is you're providing so much education to folks here in Huntsville. And Steph Vallie is the owner of Magnolia Kennel. You guys have been rocking and rolling for quite some time here in Huntsville now.
Yes.
How many years now has it been?
Well, I've physically been here 43 years, but the kennel has been open, and I've been working with dogs for that entire time because I used to do private lessons and all that kind of stuff. But the kennel has been, we're in November of this year, I believe it will be 26 or 27 years.
And you said 43 overall?
I've been here 43. Came to go to school and stayed.
See, this is why I always say this about. Here's one bit of negativity about Huntsville. People in this community, they don't tell the truth. Because you're saying 43 years, that means you started when you were 1.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the gray hair says that, yes.
We have a very sweet lady. I call her the mother of our church in a way, or the grandma of our church, Molly, Jeanette. And Molly is 83, and she's okay with me saying this because she's publicly said her age. But I said, Molly, there is no way that you're 83. I said, you are going on 68.
Yeah.
So, and I tell her every day, I said, you're lying, and you're not supposed to lie in church, especially about that. So,
well, years and years ago when I used to do the private dog lessons and stuff, they started calling me the dog lady. And I have no problem with that. That is fine with me. I enjoy being tagged the dog lady.
I think if we coined you as the dog whisperer of Huntsville, is there an official moniker now? Can we use that?
Yeah, sure.
Did we have? I don't think we had anything else, did we?
No. But the whisperer, you think of that Caesar guy. I always think of he's a trainer that's nationally known. But yeah, that'd be fine.
Well, he learned from you. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah. Well, he is younger than me. So.
Well, Steph, you and I had a brief conversation at our WCRC lunch the other day over at Rodeo. Great lunch, by the way. Appreciate Delphina and love being able to eat over there. But, we started talking about pet safety, specifically dogs, and it is so hot outside. I had taken a thermometer reading, and you saw this on social media. This is why Android's better than iPhone, by the way, Jason. I'm just going to throw that out there. They always come up with the technology like 10 years in advance. But they have a sensor on here that it's for temperature, and now you can scan your body temperature to make sure you're not running a fever. Well, this also scans objects, and so just for fun, the other day I was like, man, my AC feels really good today in the truck, and we were at a stoplight, and so I put it up to the AC, so it was 43 degrees. I said, man, that is great. Well, then I said, let's put it on the road, and I just rolled down the window, 130 degrees, and that was that far away. It's a very serious thing when you see folks walking pets. They should not be doing this on the asphalt. I don't think people realize it. So maybe kind of lead into that this morning. We wanted to talk about pet safety in the summer.
Well, one thing that I would like a disclaimer. I am not a veterinarian. This should be discussed with your vet also, but this is from experience. Years ago when I used to run the drug dogs, that is one of the things that we were real cautious about, is walking the dogs in the parking lots and things like that. Now they make safety booties. And as a matter of fact, the other day we were at a place where there was a service dog, and he actually had Crocs on. It was so cute.
Oh, cool.
He had
Need
little
some of
Crocs
those.
on. But yes, for safety purposes, dogs feel a lot through their pads, if not everything through their pads, so their feet. So anytime that they are on a hot surface, just think of it as 2 and 3 times worse than us. One of the biggest things you can do is literally take the palm of your hand, which is very sensitive, put it down there and count to 5 to 10. And if you can stand it, then there's a possibility they can stand it. But you always want to be on the cautious because they can blister, they can cause all kinds of problems on their feet. In the beds of pickups, even in the wintertime, you see these people, and I'm not an advocate about having your dog loose in the back of a pickup, but these cowboys will have their dogs in the back of the pickups, and the bed of that truck, because of the exhaust, comes to the top. It is also it's like being on the hot concrete. So you want to be very cautious about where you allow your dog's feet to have contact in. So be very cautious about that. They can get heat stroke, they can get burns, they can get all kinds of things from the heat on the concrete.
Yeah, and growing up, and I feel guilty about this, I didn't think about some of that growing up. I'll be honest.
I did that also.
I didn't think about it. I was sitting there thinking the other day, my goodness, how many times have I walked my dog growing up as a child and didn't think about it? And someone had said the other day, well, we usually wait until like 8 o'clock. Well, go put your hand on there at 8 o'clock. It's still blistering. I mean, at midnight, that road's still hot. When it's 100 degrees outside, that road's going to stay hot for a while.
Yes.
Is there specific, you mentioned the Crocs a while ago.
Yeah, they were so cute.
Is there something that you can buy that I know, and again, with the disclaimer, you're not a veterinarian, but is there something that you would recommend that you buy for the dogs if you did have to walk them out on pavement?
Well, I mean, the working dogs, a lot of the working dogs, they're almost like little mittens. They're leather-bound mittens, and they actually have attached to go over the foot and attach. So, I mean, that is, for a dog that's got to be on the concrete, a working dog, that would be what I would suggest. And, of course, discuss it with your veterinarian.
I'll toss the question to Jason's area. You pretty much grew up on a ranch, and you guys have dogs. I mean, what are some of the things that you've seen over the years and in ways that maybe, you kind of protect your animals during the summer months?
Well, we have Basset Hounds, and I love Basset Hounds. They're so kind, and our dogs we pick Basset Hounds because we do live on a farm, and we have chickens, and we have guineas and other things, and we even have rabbits and squirrels like this. But as much as our dogs would like to catch the chicken, they can never catch up. They can never get going fast enough, and then half the time they're just laying out. But when it's hot, we always let them come in. We have concrete floors in our house, and they'll just come in and just lay down on the floor in that cold concrete. But that's one of the things that we do. We just you can tell, we can look at them and tell, and we just let them in, and they just come in and lay down on the floor.
If they can get their belly on the concrete, the cool surface, that brings their temperature down. I mean, up.
But
down,
I think you have to look at the situation and also the breed of dog to know, man, they need to come in. We used to have Great Pyrenees, and she was a great ranch dog, but they have a lot of fur, and the fur. But we would always, and she would sleep most of the day, and they would stay up at night because she did a lot of patrolling of our property. Best dog we ever owned, but we would always let her come in during the day, and by letting them come in, they would learn, to just they're calmer and lay down, and I think it used to being inside like that. But for the most part, like our Basset Hounds, most of the time they're outside, but we understand that in the summers they have to come in.
Steph, I was going to ask you a question because you mentioned the Great Pyrenees, and those dogs do have an incredible – those are the sheep dogs, right?
No,
they're the white dogs. Those
big,
white
huge.
What are the sheep dogs? Which ones are those? Those are also the big puffy white dogs too, though, right?
No, the sheepdogs are usually white and gray. I mean, to be honest with you, I've only ever had one come through the kennel, so I don't really.
But
know
the Great Pyrenees, they're also white and very fluffy,
they're
right?
solid white, yeah. They're big, tall dogs, and they're made for. In fact, we bought this one, Guardian.
That's what I meant. Yeah, not a sheepdog, but a Guardian dog. Yeah,
and we bought this one because we had chickens, and the coyotes would come in and kill our chickens. I mean, as soon as we'd get them, They'd be decimated. And we could never keep the chicken. We had a pen and everything, but we live out in the country, and they would get in. But when we got that dog, she would keep everything safe there.
And if you have one of those particular dogs, if they don't have a job to do, then they will wander and get bigger and bigger in their perimeter and start looking for other things. And it becomes protection of your neighbors and that kind of stuff.
Great dog.
I would love to have a Great Pyrenees. That would be one of my choice dogs, but we live on the highway, and I would not feel comfortable with that.
The question I was thinking as we were talking about it, because the abundance of hair, do you recommend, Stephanie, again, disclosure, not a veterinarian.
Yes.
But from all of your experience with dogs over the years and just having that great connection with such wonderful animals and dogs, do you recommend that if you have a dog with huge amounts of hair, do you shave them in the summer or do you leave them alone? Because some people think you have to, but I think you leave them alone.
Well, one of the things about the Great Pyrenees, and this is just experience, once again, this would be a question for your groomer, but just experience, like the Great Pyrenees, they are almost an insulation.
Right.
It helps with the heat and the cold.
Yeah.
So they're not going to get, yes, any animal or any person can get overheated, but a Great Pyrenees, more if they have shade, they can tolerate the heat. They might pant a lot, but they can, because of their coat acts as an insulation for cold and heat. So every breed, if you look at their background, has a reason that they have the type of body they have or the type of coat they have or something like that. It's like, to go into another discussion on the heat, is like Doberman Pinschers, great Malinois, any of the working breeds, the big-chested breeds. In the summertime, one of the things you have to worry about them is they have a problem that's called bloat. And bloat is almost, if you're from the farm, it's almost like a cow or a horse with colic. Air gets trapped and it can't get out.
Ooh.
And they're all, and 2 years into opening the kennel, I had a shepherd that was boarding with me. And make a long story short, we ended up getting it to A&M. And bloat is a life-threatening thing. Very few times will a dog come out of it.
Oh, no.
And because that air gets trapped and they can't get it out. And if they do save the dog, most likely the intensity of it coming back is going to be worse. So every dog has a medical problem, and the heat can cause with the bloat is the dog drinks too much water too fast. And that goes into the next section of what I want to talk about. When you leave a dog out and it gets overheated, when you bring it back in, a lot of people will make the mistake of giving it water right away or trying to douse it with cold water or something like that. That's the worst thing you can do, is you want to bring them in, get them in a cool spot, give them a little bit of water, not cold water, lukewarm water,
room temperature.
Yeah. You want to get some, you don't want to put wet towels on top of the body, but you want to put them under or between their legs or something like that to bring their temperature up slowly. So when you bring a big-chested dog in, you don't want to give them water because they'll gulp that water and then the air gets in a situation. I do know that one of our police officers here, it's been a while, lost a dog to that. Man. So it is a common thing. It's another side effect of the heat.
It's not like this may be totally off the wall, but it's not like cows. Whenever I've seen on the internet, they'll put pins in them. Have you seen this? Tubes, and it's like they open them up. It's like a valve. One guy actually lit them because it's methane, and he lit a lighter, and like a flame came out of the cow's belly. I did want to say, I know it's a very serious thing, but I did want to bring a little bit of humor to the word bloat. I've had a lot of bloat for a long time, so I need to lay off the burgers.
You need to lay off the water.
And that's a different kind of bloat.
That's a bloat called quit eating hamburgers every day. So
just go straight Dr. Pepper. No more water for Rob.
But the main thing is this time of year you just want to be really, real careful with the amount of time that they spend out time. Our policy at the kennel, when it starts getting above 85, 90 degrees outside, and I'm not talking the heat index, I'm just talking the heat, we let the dogs out to do their business and come back in. This time of year I don't do a lot of doggy daycare, and that's because doggy daycare is they want the activity. Well, I don't want to take the responsibility of the dog getting overheated because at home, if they're couch potatoes and then they come to doggy daycare and they want them to run for 20 or 30 minutes, that's dangerous. You just want to be really careful of the heat, and especially the heat index.
I was glancing at some of Jason's notes. I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, Jason. I saw something here, and I think it kind of ties into this segment.
I brought this article for.
I'll let you kind of discuss this with Steph, but I'll lead into it by saying there's a lot of service animals that are brought into hospitals to help people through situations. When my dad was my dad loved when they brought the golden retrievers all the time. You know, it helps a lot with mental things and just having that companion that because as our family dog, they wouldn't allow me to bring him. I'm like, man, my dog's probably cleaner than that dog, to be honest. Because that dog was out walking all the time. Is there anything in the summer months, do you see a decline in hospital visits with dogs coming in just because it may be hotter outside?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I would assume that they probably actually inside the building it's going to be cool. So, and the trainer or the handler that's taking the dog into the building is going to know all of that. But I don't know the answer to that question. Do you?
No, I don't know that. I was. What brought this up was I was looking up at an article this week. I saw one that came, and by the way, I saw an article that said exactly what you were saying about the temptation whenever a dog is hot to spray water on their back, and it almost has the reverse effect because it, and I didn't know that, but the proper way to cool them down is, like you said, is slowly, and not just dousing them in water. But what I read on recently was that, and this is a recent study that just came out that says that owning a pet helps people not achieve dementia as fast. That people living alone typically have higher rates of dementia, but if they have a dog or a cat, it slows the rate of dementia.
It gives them a purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, it just shows you the importance of what animals have in our lives and how we treat them. I think it says a lot about who we are.
When I started a long time ago, when I worked for Texas Hearing and Service Dogs, I volunteered with them and then eventually worked with them. That is the big trend that I see now is service dogs are more than just I'm taking the dog into Walmart and see my dog.
Right.
This is how they interact at home. This is how they give it encourages the person that might feel depressed and lay in bed all day. Oh, well, I have to get up and take care of Joey, or I have to get up and I have to walk the dog, I have to feed the dog. So it gives them a mission. I see that every day.
It plays such a big, important role in, like we were talking earlier, about the mental health issues. Having a companion plays such an important role.
And it's very helpful with autistic children that are on the spectrum. Even you'll see, once again, I keep referring to years ago because I'm not in that industry anymore, but years ago, you would see a child that was nonverbal, and then a week later, you don't know they're talking, but they're talking to that dog.
Wow.
And so it is really amazing to watch all of that happen. And those are true service dogs. That's another topic, but it drives me nuts when you see these people, these celebrities say, I have a service dog.
They go on Amazon and buy the little thing.
They want to get them into the country, so they put service dog. That's a totally different thing. There is a need for service dogs, and there is a definite desire for service dogs, but they should be true service dogs.
Yeah, and you were in that industry. There's a ton of training. It's not just you go pick up a little Chihuahua and say here he is. I mean, there's a lot of training. You could train a Chihuahua to be a service dog.
The most interesting dog that I was involved in that was a service dog was a coon hound.
Oh, really?
And it was hilarious because we trained the dog. She was doing her behaviors and stuff. We went to move her in, and the reason we paired her with this gentleman was because he was an avid hunter before he became disabled, and we didn't think about it, and we moved the dog in, and he has this huge moose on his wall, and we could not get that dog to leave that moose alone. So they ended up placing her with somebody else, but it was
wonderful.
Learn from your mistakes.
Well, Steph, so great to have you here today. I know we talked in depth about just the things you need to be alert and be on alert for during the summer. And I know we tied in a little bit too with just the mental health aspect of the companionship of having a dog as well. By the way, full disclaimer, dogs are my most favorite animal. Cats are. I don't disrespect cats, but let's just say I love cats when they're someone else's.
I love any animal except reptiles. I'm not real fond of reptiles.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd walk in with a turtle.
My niece has a turtle that it is amazing.
Didn't we talk about this one time about turtles crossing the street?
Yeah.
Every time I see a little turtle in the middle of the road, I have to stop and like help it across the street.
Yeah.
And then we talked about this, and it happened the other day. I didn't do it, and I drove back later, and the turtle was
Veterans Memorials, because they get sandwiched between those ledges, and they can't get off of Veterans Memorial. It happened a lot on Veterans Memorial.
Well, Steph, appreciate you being here. Is there anything else that you wanted to highlight this morning? Let us know about the kennel. How can folks get in touch with you?
Well, right now, thank goodness, everybody is actually using our online service. I always tell people that, yes, I know everybody wants to talk to me, but the more time that somebody wants me to physically call them and talk to them is less time I'm spending with the dogs at the kennel, or Olivia's spending less time with the dogs. So the more you can use the service of making your online reservations, the better. We will be busy, so I encourage people to make your reservations as soon as you make your reservations for your hotel. Make them for your pet, and put yourself on the waiting list, because everything changes every 5 minutes around the kennel. We are doing a little bit of doggy daycare, but not a lot. It won't start back up really heavy until the kids go back to school. And we are probably not going to close for our vacation this year in October, but because Olivia's with us, she'll probably keep it open. But it's moving and rocking and doing wonderful.
And
so
60+ dogs, right? Not a whole lot going on. When I call you, there's just 60 dogs here.
Yeah, the weekends are definitely 60, and the rest of the week is 40 to 50. So, yeah.
With it being so hot, like you mentioned, and people going on vacation during the summer, I just encourage people, don't just assume that they're going to be okay. Make sure you take that extra step to make sure your pets are cared for while you're gone.
Yeah, and what I run into a lot is they'll make arrangements with their neighbor, and then for some reason the neighbor can't do it, and then they want to come into the kennel, but we're already booked. Same thing with the disasters. Please make sure, I can't stress this enough, please make sure your animals are updated on the shots, because for any kennel spa, dog spa, whatever you call it, is going to require shots, and they're not going to take your dog even under an emergency situation. During the recent floods, I had a poor lady wanted to bring her dogs to us. She had 7 of them. The dog didn't even have rabies, and my dogs never leave the property. That's not the point. It's safety first.
Yeah.
So,
well, appreciate you being so keen on safety too, which is so important. So, well, check them out online, magnoliakennel.com. Look for a recap of our interview on our monthly article under our featured events and section. It's called Pause and Reflect. And so we'll have that on there coming up here in the next few days, and you'll be able to kind of reread and get a recap of our interview here today with Steph. Appreciate you so much, Steph.
Appreciate y'all, Dave.
All right, we'll step aside. We'll take a break. Maybe some news you can use, and you've got a couple of surprises coming up, right?
When we come back, the question is, what's this world coming to?
Okay. What's this world coming to? And a final opportunity this morning. I thought there was music behind it, but it's, we got Morgan Freeman as a young man to read this for us. This is Morgan Freeman 30 years ago reading this for us.
Today's impossible question brought to you by Hello Huntsville. The term for this item that you use at mealtime dates back to the 14th century, but contrary to one myth, it was not invented by Leonardo da Vinci.
Do you have any idea what that answer to that may be, Steph?
No.
All right. Something that we use at mealtime, dates back to the 14th century. Leonardo da Vinci did not invent it. The first, I would say fork, because
I would say knife.
But maybe or maybe not. I know the answer because I'm the questioner of it. So, all right, we'll take a quick break. Jason, we'll have you back here in just a moment. What was it again?
What's this world coming to?
What is this world coming to?
What it's already been.
Yeah, we'll have that when we come back. Stay with us. More to come here. It is your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville, where we've been caring for your furry family members for over 4 decades. Nestled at 877 IH 45 South, our kennel is a perfect retreat for your pet. With a climate-controlled facility, spacious exercise yards, we ensure a comfortable and enjoyable stay. At Magnolia Kennel, we offer a range of options including overnight boarding, extended stay boarding, and doggy day out. But that's not all. We also provide additional pampering services like baths and nail care to keep your pets looking and feeling their best. Making a reservation is a breeze at magnoliakennel.com. We take great pride in our dedication to the community, supporting our local fire departments by providing oxygen pet masks. Stay connected and enjoy adorable pet updates by following us on Facebook. Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville is where dogs get to be dogs. Visit us at magnoliakennel.com to book your pet's next stay. We can't wait to meet your 4-legged family members.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
All right, back at it here, 8:26 as we continue on this thankful Thursday. Man, I was just thinking the kids are at the beach. Where are we at, Jason?
Yeah, really.
You know, come on, man.
I know it.
The staff retreated. Where did they go? Did they go to Galveston, or where are they at?
Yeah, I think down close to Surfside.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I saw the bus. They all loaded up yesterday, headed out about noon. They're gone for a couple of days.
Yeah. Two of mine are there.
I'm going to tell you, that's the fun. That's just such a weird angle on this camera all of a sudden. You see that? Let me try to fix this real quick. Something happened here earlier. I don't know what's going on, Jason. I bumped something or did something. That just looked kind of weird.
Yeah, that's better.
Maybe oh, you know what it was? I think it was the mug. There we go. It's when you don't have that Elliot's Jewelers mug on there.
Okay.
It throws it off.
That's probably it.
But no, the kids are gone. I was thinking there is so much that our youth are so privileged and blessed to do at First Baptist, man. Just wrapped up VBS. They're going to the beach. They're going to Galveston.
Yeah, and then they're headed off to camp in a week or so, and they're going to Florida for that. So Daytona. So they should have a great time down there too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. We've got a good youth ministry.
Well, what's the world coming to, Jason?
Yeah, okay, that's what we're getting to. What is the world coming to? Now, you know, when you and I grew up, the internet was the big invention of the day. I mean, you can't hardly remember what life was like without the information that we have privy to just at the tip of our fingertips, you know. My kids, they can't imagine what it would be like not having the internet. Well, there's a new invention, or a newer invention, that is rapidly changing the world as we know it. The world is changing rapidly, and this one invention is going to be something that I believe, as we look forward, similar to the invention of the internet. So much change. And what it is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is one of these things that's growing at such a fast rate now. In fact, Apple came out and they said that they're putting the most of their resources into the new Apple phone that they're getting, and also the Android as well.
Android's doing it first.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. But they're putting the most of their resources. The biggest change in the, everybody's wondering what's going to be the change in the newer phones. Well, the biggest change, they said, coming out will be the incorporation of artificial intelligence into the next generation of phones. Now, this is a big deal for you that have children. You know probably how much artificial intelligence plays in just the use of their homework, the way that they learn now. There's a thing that you and I are familiar with, but all of the audience might not be. But Chat GPT is a source that can do all sorts of things. You can type something into a Google and type, hey, give me information on whatever, and it will give you information. But when you go to Chat GPT and type it in, you can write a paper on, Martin Luther King or whatever, and it will come up with just a whole written out paper. And honestly, if you look at this stuff with the way that it is, it's pretty good.
Check this out. I've just thought of this idea while you're talking.
Okay.
Write a crossword puzzle about the Bible.
There it is, just like that.
Oh, well, it's telling me what to do across. I thought it would actually draw it out.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, so what this does is it looks over, it has crawlers that search the internet, and it learns, this artificial intelligence learns from the way that we write, everything that's published on the internet, and it consolidates it and stuff and learns from the way that people interact. So you can write a letter to the mayor about whatever, and it will literally write a letter in correct form with certain language, the proper language. And this stuff is growing in such a rapid rate. In our education process, it's transforming it, because obviously the way that it's used in school, kids can use it to cheat on and write papers, and the educators are trying to find out a way to combat this. How do you determine whether something is made by, and you can put it in AI filters to try to determine, but really the technology is increasing so fast that it's almost defeating that as soon as they come out with something to try to check for artificial intelligence, or but they change it and make it where you can't detect it. So this is revolutionary. Now, I want to get to a lawsuit that was filed, but first I want to ask you, how has this transformed the way that you do work?
Man, it's helped in so many areas. One, I tend to think I'm a very creative person, and I wouldn't say I get writer's block, but I kind of get stuck on an idea and how can I get it to the next level. And AI technology plays a role in my life and what I do in the media and marketing industry every single day now. We use it for so much. In fact, some of the music that you hear on the show now is generated by AI, which AI, in my opinion, in music is never going to replace the talent of an actual person, but it does a pretty good job. And I use it every day to help with, hey, how can I formulate a show idea today? Right. Different ways, or if I want to say something differently, but I kind of get stuck on how to say it. I've been using the technology since ChatGPT first came out. I first heard of it when I was in Fargo. The radio industry had started buzzing about it. What is this stuff? What is this stuff? And so I've got immersed in it, especially with AI image generation. I use that a lot now because I pay for a service to generate images that I want versus using stock photography. Now I can use a service that and to be honest, you won't even know the difference half the time unless you're looking really close. So it's a major thing, and I do it a lot for entertainment too. While you were sitting here, I said write a song about Jason Bay, the pastor at FBC, to the tune of the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh no!
And can I sing this?
Yeah,
Jason?
go ahead.
Let me tell you about a man named Jason Bay, pastor at FBC, leads us all to pray. He's got a heart of gold and a Bible in his hand, teaching us the word, making us understand.
Oh man!
See there you go.
I mean,
that quick, right?
This is it's really rapidly changing the way we do a lot of things. And technology for some can be a scary thing, and they can refuse or try to say, hey, it does have its drawbacks for sure, and it can limit the things that. But on the flip side, I think a lot of times we need to just realize this is the wave of the future. This is what is going to be happening. Thinking about like when the calculator first came out.
People were probably real upset about that.
Yeah, okay, and now we have this ability to do all kind of mathematical equations at the tip of our fingers. What are we teaching our kids? You know, what are we teaching our kids? We got a calculator.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same way, is the technology going to limit the amount of kids learn about writing papers, how to do research, or is it going to further that along? That's really the question. And I think the answer is, like any technology, it's how you use it.
Absolutely.
You know, are you using it in a way that's benefiting you, or are you using it in a way that's cheating you from learning the proper tools that you need in life to succeed? Now, I could go on there right now and say, you know, write a sermon on mental health and what the Bible has to say about it. And I didn't know anything about ChatGPT until my children were in school, and they were like, "Dad, check this out, check this out." And
how'd you get your homework done so fast? Check this out, Dad. No.
I don't know the answer to this question. And you can type it in Google and just in the search bar, and it may give you some roundabout, but you can type it in there, and chances are that exact question will pop up from a test that somebody has submitted into the internet somewhere, and it will give you the answer to that question. I mean, it's amazing what this stuff is capable of doing. And it's really, I mean, when you look into the future, what is the limit of what this is capable of doing? I mean, it's learning, they're teaching these programs to learn at such a quick and rapid pace. I mean, it really is revolutionary, and in some places scary. So what you said was what I wanted to bring to our attention. I know we don't have a lot of time, but okay. So there's a new lawsuit that has been filed this week.
Frivolous.
Yeah, and here's the title of it. It says, U.S. record labels sue AI music generators, which one of the companies is Suno, and the other one is Udio, for copyright infringement. The Recording Industry Association of America and record labels allege that the leading AI music generators trained on their artists' work without permission. Now, here's what they said. They said, unlicensed services like Suno and Udio that claim it's fair to copy an artist's life's work and exploit it for their own profit without consent or pay set back the promise of genuinely innovative AI for us all. And they're attempting to stop these two companies, which, by the way, both these companies allow you to generate original music with just certain prompts for free. Now, if you want to generate a lot more music, then you have to pay a subscription service. But for the most part, it's free. And so I went down this rabbit hole of looking into this, and this stuff, and I know you have too, this stuff is fascinating at what it's capable of doing. Now, the lawsuit is saying that the artists, the AI generated stuff is very similar to a lot of other artists. Like one of them was, the example that they gave was Mariah Carey's hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You. When they typed certain prompts in there, the music that was generated was very similar to that. Now, my question is, isn't all music that we have a product of
someone else?
What somebody else has done? Not exactly. But the development, the progression of music from all the years, most of it is generated based on, hey, you like George Strait's style, and you're not going to copy that style, but you're definitely going to have
some
musical
inspiration from
influences based on that. So what do you think about this lawsuit? Do you think this is a legitimate lawsuit? And what do you think is the future of music?
No, I think it's complete hog. In the good old East Texas slang, it's hogwash.
Yeah.
And the reason is exactly what you said when you told me about this. I used the AI to help us with some of our background music for VBS.
Yeah.
And the video, I was able to create authentic music related to the theme that day that fit the video. It was awesome.
Right.
And so when I saw this, I'm sitting there thinking, when you told me about this, I said, man, this is complete garbage, because not the service, the lawsuit. Because the first thought that I had is, what about every musician that gets on stage and says, well, man, my inspiration was Garth Brooks. He put out such good. So now, are you going to be, as a musician, do you need to keep your mouth closed and don't talk about who gave you the inspiration to create the music that you created? Every single musician has been inspired by some other musician and their work. And many of them emulate that style of music, and they also throw in their own flavor to it. But there's still that root foundation that they have got their inspiration and the style of music from somebody else.
Yeah.
Every single, go watch the CMA's Country Music Awards. Every one of those people that wins awards, they go, well, I'd just like to thank Garth Brooks. He did this, and George Strait did this, and what's the new one? The big dude, Jelly Roll. That's a big guy now.
Yeah.
Well, Jelly Roll, man. It's all this kind of everyone. So I think that this is going to get thrown out. I think if this goes through, and a guilty is put on this company, it's going to set the precedent for the future of how stuff happens, not just with music, but any food, for example. Oh, well, he made pizza that way, and I can't copy him anymore. You better come up with your own new form of food. That's the way that I see it. And I think the future of all of this stuff, I think this is going to play a major role. In fact, I was reading an article the other day, Jason, that said by 2030, the computer intelligence, and this is weird to think about, but it said that they're worried now that the intelligence of these AI systems, I don't know if it's ever going to get to a point to where it's what's called sentient, to where it knows that it exists. I just think that's science fiction 50 years away.
Yeah. It's scary. I mean, when you think about these things and what they're capable of doing, it really is science fiction in the reality.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever going to become sentient, which is, I think it could. But I think it's going to play a major role in this article that I said is by 2030, the intelligence of some of these programs is going to be far superior to human knowledge.
Yeah.
Now, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
That's science fiction talk that's right around the corner.
Well, this is how long, if I told you, hey, go write a song about me and write it to the tune of the Beverly Hillbillies. Now, how long would it take you to do that?
8, 9, 10 out, 2 weeks. Who knows?
Yeah,
I did it in 2 seconds. Here.
Exactly. It's instantaneous, is what it's capable of. Now, the CEO of Suno, which is the one that you use and the one that I looked into, he said our technology is transformative. It is designed to generate completely new outputs, not to memorize and regurgitate pre-existing content. What's interesting is you can put it into and what he's saying is correct, because you can put the prompts into these generators, and you can put the same prompts in there twice, and it will be 2 different songs that come out. It's totally random, and it generates new music every time. And it's not just the lyrics, it's the complete song. Now, I want you to pull this up while I'm talking here. I sent you some songs just to give the people an example of what this stuff is capable of, and how, I mean, it's really fun. If you don't have anything to do this weekend,
read your Bible first.
Read your Bible and then go on to Suno and play around and see what kind of music you can generate. But so, okay, I have my daughter is 4 years old. My youngest daughter, her name is Magdalene, but when she was saying her name when she was younger, she would say Macalyn. That's what she called herself, Macalyn. And so, and what's a young child, 4 years old, that is the youngest of all 10 children, the one thing that you don't want to call her is little. You know, you don't want to call her little. When they call her little, that's the biggest insult that you can possibly get from a child. So I wanted to generate a song for my girl, and this is what I typed in. So I typed in, her name is Big Mac. That's what we call her. She's a little girl, but she's Big Mac, known as Big Mac. She likes to eat watermelon. She loves horses, and she loves swimming. Now, I want you to listen to the song that this is complete. That's what I typed in. That's the cues that I gave it. And I said, give it a fun feel. And this is what it came up with.
Little girl, Big Mac, running with a horseback, saddling up on ponies, never cutting no slack, galloping through fields, riding saddle so tight, sunset glowing in the stable by night. Poolside diva, dive like a dolphin, big splash queen, ain't no time for sulking. Swimming through summer, floaties on deck, watermelon juice dripping down her neck. Big Mac, queen of her scene, riding through life like a wild Mustang dream. More than just a roadblocks, she's a real life queen.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, the Roblox is the one game that she loves to play on my phone.
Did you download this and are you jamming to it in your truck?
Oh man, it's her favorite song now.
That's crazy. I mean, it sounds like you would know the difference.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I was blown away at the capabilities of this, and my oldest son, when he heard about it, he was like, man, he spent all day yesterday just making up songs, insulting songs about his brother and sister. He made one song for his sister and sent it to her, and then she wrote back, real nice. So then he wrote another one, an apology, and he sent it to her, another song, apologizing.
Can I throw something your way real quick?
Yeah,
I just did this while you were talking a while ago.
All right.
I have no idea. I haven't heard this yet, but you ready for this?
Yeah.
About a man named Jason Bay, a pastor at BBC, preaching every Sunday with a heart so pure and a message so clear, having folks listen never far in
All right.
Here we go. You ready for this?
Yeah.
He stands up tall on the stage, talks about grace and loves and never age. Folks come running just to hear him pray at First Baptist Church of OPA.
Unbelievable. What'd you tell him to?
I
give
told
him
it
the most hillbilly voice.
I said a hillbilly song to the tune of Beverly Hillbillies about Jason Bay, the pastor at FBC.
Okay, well, turnabout's fair play. I brought in today a song we generated last night in reference to you, Rob. So roll it.
Oh no, I haven't heard this. I like the tune.
Yeah.
Old Rob from Georgetown, Texas, a small town boy with big old dreams, moved to Huntsville to see the bats in a prison.
Bats in prison.
His calling found his mission. Rob from Georgetown with a voice so fine, from 7 to 9 is yours and mine.
7 to 9.
He's the talk of the town with a golden voice that never lets you down.
Never let you down.
Well, thank you, man. I like this.
He's got the skills on the radio show, knows how to keep the conversation flow. The way that charm grabs your ear every morning, he's the voice you want to hear. Move to Sam Houston's town where history's grand. Rob brings joy to this beautiful land. Tune in to Hello Huntsville and let Rob's voice lead the way. Guiding in your day with every word he'll say. Rob from Georgetown.
Man, this makes me want to start dipping, you know?
What does my song make me want to do? Get a banjo, a piece of grass.
Jason, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I know it. It's awesome.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me.
Hey, it took me all of 2 seconds. Actually, Noah worked on that mainly. So
well, thank you, Noah.
But here's what I want to say is,
wow.
I mean, how long? This is just an honest question. How long before one of these songs that somebody generates becomes a hit song?
Yeah.
And then what happens to the royalties behind that music, who gets paid for that song? See, I think when I read this lawsuit, they always say you just go back to the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they're trying to stop AI from generating this content, because in reality, there's no stopping it. This is the future.
Absolutely.
But who gets the money is what this comes down to. Who gets the money? Now, what I learned about this is that the U.S. record labels are suing them to stop them because what they're providing is free. And the record labels are currently working on their own AI-generated music. And what they're going to do is provide a subscription service where you can have an original song and it can be sung AI-generated by your favorite artist that they own. So if you want George Strait you want a song sung by George Strait, you can put it in there, and the AI-generated voice of George Strait would sing the song.
And then he'll get the royalties from it.
Well, I don't know if he'll get the royalties. They'll probably get the royalties from it, the record labels. But
they've done this with Al Michaels. Did you see this with the Olympics coming up?
Oh, really? No.
He was strongly against this, but once they explained it to him and they said, "No, we can get this to be your voice." And they paid him, he got onto it. They recorded Al Michaels, just took a sample of his voice, and now during the Olympics, the recaps are going to be Al Michaels' voice, but it's not going to be him. This was big news from NBC. They put this out last night. I was reading about it.
Oh, wow.
It's extremely crazy. Now, you mentioned about, hit songs, and I've been putting out a lot of Christian music. Here, There's a gray area to this right now. Suno says, in their terms of service, from what I read the other day, if you pay for the service, they have a free version, but they have a paid version. I have the paid version now. If you pay the fees, then you basically own the music.
Own the rights to the music.
Because you own the music, now you can distribute that music. And this is a very gray area right now.
Right.
So I've actually submitted 3 songs that are now on all major music platforms.
Wow.
Even on TikTok. You go to TikTok, you can find these songs. And I've been doing a lot of inspirational because I wanted to have some unique music to Spirit Radio FM. And one of them, you said a hit, man. I think, listen to this.
Yeah, play it.
This is one of my favorite Christian songs now. And help
all AI generated.
I feel so low. Darkest days, they come and go, but your love, it always shows. Jesus, you're my heart's glow. When the world is caving,
just wait for the hook and the chorus. It's unbelievable.
Your light breaks through every sin, and your arms I rise again. You lift me up when I'm down. In your love I'm found. Through the storm and the rain. Your love takes away all the pain.
That's pretty catchy.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
And I've submitted this now to Christian radio stations across the U.S. And I've told people, hey, this is generated, but we've created a label, an artist label called Spirit Media now. Now we have our of course, nonprofit Spirit Media Incorporated, but we have created an artist as Spirit Media, and we release this under Spirit Media and Spirit Radio FM. So now we can have our own unique music when people listen to the station. And to me, I mean, it's just incredible technology, and this is
unbelievable.
At first I felt like, man, but here's the thing too: you can do your own custom lyrics, and so So through that song, I took what it had kind of generated and I reformulated it the way that I wanted. Like I wanted it to repeat, so it's like your love goes down, down, those kind of things. I had it repeat, and it just I sat there for probably 4 hours manipulating this, and I finally got it the way that I wanted. And I was like, man, that sounds pretty. I sent it to a buddy. He's like, dude, who is that? That's like a Billboard Top 10 CCM song. And I was like, well, AI created it. So that's where the technology's going. Now, and I don't want to say this in a respectful way. I don't want to downplay any artists out there because, man, musicians are the most, in my opinion, some of the most talented people in the world. We have probably one of the best, and I'm not being biased, but Alan Barnes is amazing. And nothing is ever going to replace a guy like Alan being out there singing. But for something to be creative and kind of do something that you want on the fly, this technology is unbelievable.
Well, what I was going to say about what you just said is that what AI does is generates music based on what has already taken place. for something to be totally new and creative, obviously it takes talented, creative people to generate something new. You know what I'm saying? Because what AI is doing is generating stuff on stuff that's already been done, but in a different way. But for something to be totally new, it obviously takes creative people. But this stuff just blew me away when we went down this rabbit hole, and I was just so. I mean, we couldn't put it away. We have so many songs now that and we're developing hit after hit. Rob over here.
Hit after hit.
You just have to know the backstory on all the songs.
Well, I mean, check this out. Like this right here. I called a studio. They wanted like $4,000 to sing these jingles for me. And I was able to utilize AI technology, paid for the service at a fraction of the cost, not downplaying.
Yeah.
But I don't have $4,000 for that. Now, one day if we were a big station and had the money, yeah, I'd gladly. But I just needed some quick sweepers to put in there in between music. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Well, and I told Noah the same thing when we were looking at last night. I said, can you imagine all the small businesses that can now have access to developing a creative jingle for their company? I mean, it's crazy, and I think that this just shows the future. I mean, I don't know where this is going. Obviously, we don't have any way of knowing, but I do think it's definitely going to be something that transforms the way music is done. Remember when we grew up, Milli Vanilli? You remember Milli Vanilli?
I remember. I never listened, but I know what you're talking about.
You got all that controversy about them lip syncing now. I mean, now that seems small potatoes compared to what's going to be out there now.
You're going to have Jason Bay with a cowboy hat. You know what's going to happen? An AI music concert, 110,000 people at Kyle Field, and it's going to be a computer monitor with a guy dancing.
Yeah, right.
That's never going to happen. I don't know. Never say never. Now people 200 years are going to find YouTube archives and laugh at us. So,
right.
By the way, I do want to say this. Machines, if you are learning and listening, please don't come after Jason and I.
Well, don't start here. We're all in trouble.
We support Skynet. The machine 200 years from now is going to laugh and be like, we got you. Oh, man. All right. Well, Jason, what else do you got for us,
That's
man?
all I had. I was just going to talk about that and just share how quickly that things are changing. And hopefully somebody out there can get some joy out of it over the weekend. Suno.com, I believe, is the address.
Suno.com.
It's just fun. We had a good time with it the last few days, and I'm sure when I get home there'll probably be about 10 more songs made all about me and my big forehead.
Yeah. We have, my sister and I created a potty humor song that is absolutely, and Jason Thompson, it's nothing vulgar. And Jason told me, he goes, man, you should put that on social media.
Yeah.
We talked about a squatty potty and a bidet, and it's hilarious. I mean, it'll have you raw. I'll have to let you hear it sometime.
Yeah, as soon as I got home, Noah said, Dad, I wrote a song about you. And he played it, and it's like, I got a big forehead and every other kind of physical flaw that I had. Oh, this is wonderful. I mean, this is great.
Well, our impossible question of the day today, and we're going to get over to our 0 Degree Creations phone and text line here in just a few moments. But our impossible question of the day, we're going to have these every day. Today's impossible question was talking earlier about the term for this item that you use at mealtime. That's a big hint. Dates back to the 14th century. But contrary to one myth, it was not invented by Leonardo da Vinci. And Jason, I wanted to ask you, do you have any idea what that may be?
Well, it's not AI.
It's not AI. Yeah.
I have no idea what it could be.
Something that you use during mealtime. I was thinking when I first saw it, fork would be the answer. That was not the answer. Nobody had answered. We're going to put these on social media, by the way, and we'll read your answers here live on the air every day.
Type it in to Chat GPT, and you'll get the answer.
You know what? Let's just as a joke. No joke, man. Just as a joke, we should literally do that real quick. So the term for this item, I'm going to have to write this out because I don't have it. I'm going to have to do this.
Can't copy and paste.
No, can't copy and paste because I did it as a video. The term for this item that you use at mealtime dates back to the 14th century, but contrary to one myth, it was not invented by Leonardo da Vinci. All right, that's about as fast as I can type today. So
that's great.
Back in high school, they said that there was UIL typing back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And my computer teacher said if that would have still been a thing, I would have won state.
Yeah, you're a great typer.
No, but and I've slowed down, though. That's what's crazy. When I was in high school, on average, with about 96% accuracy, I was typing about 150 to 160 words per minute.
Okay, we'll put
now
that into your song.
No, and now it's slowed dramatically down. No, it got it wrong. It got it wrong. So see, the AI get it.
It's flawed.
Got it. It says the term you're looking for is fork, though it wasn't invented by Leonardo da Vinci. So this is not correct.
Wow. See, be careful, kids.
The answer, you got to be careful. The answer to this, by the way, was the napkin.
The napkin, okay.
The napkin. So it was invented back then. The napkin was the answer today. Nobody guessed, so we don't have to give away anything.
All right.
That's perfect. I'm thankful when people don't guess because then I don't have to give you things. So
maybe they all typed it into ChatGPT, and then you already said it wasn't fork, so they didn't know where to go from there.
Done. So, all right. Well, here we go. Let's head over to 0 Degree phone and text line. The randomizer has picked a winner today, and this is not a. You know what? I see this number, and I think I know exactly who this is, because this is not a Huntsville number.
Oh.
In fact, this person may not even answer.
Won't be the first time.
Hello.
Hello. This is Betty.
Hello.
This is Betty Jones. Hello. How are you? Would you like a little cup of tea?
What's up, little bro?
Oh man! See, I knew when I saw 605 it was my sister. What are you doing texting in my show, man? This is like, they call it nepotism, Pastor. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Family? Yeah.
So how much does she win?
Yeah, $20 is what I was giving away
today. Does she have Venmo?
Yeah, you got Venmo?
Oh, well, you know what? Donate it to your church, please.
Oh, wow.
Man,
That's a blessing. Thank you so much.
There you go, man.
That's what we need
That's
more
called
of.
tithing by proxy.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. So. Well, Rebecca, what are you up to? You working? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm at work.
In Georgetown.
Should we call them?
I just thought for giggles I would text in one time, so I'd get to talk to you on your show.
Wow. Well, you know, my dad did the same thing one time. He texted in. I didn't recognize his number either.
And he won.
And he won. And,
wow.
and he told me to give the money away. He goes, give it to somebody else.
That's sweet.
Well, sis, hey, Rebecca, tell folks about your job. You got a really cool job. Can you briefly tell us about what you get to do every day? It's really cool.
So I work for the Department of Agriculture for the Farm Service Agency. And what we do is we help farmers with disaster programs. So like when there's a drought or a tornado or fire, or, you know, like in February of 21 when we had the super cold weather, you know, people lost livestock, that's the kind of stuff we help with.
Yeah, it's really cool, and so that's kind of, you know, right up in the ag alley. We had the extension agent on our show from Walker County here a few weeks ago, so I thought of my sister. Well, Rebecca, it's so wonderful of you to text in the show. I can't believe that little nepotism. But you know, it's not really nepotism because the money has been given back to someone. No, now it's given to the church, so it's like double nepotism. Oh, I'm just kidding.
It's going to go into Rob's coffee fund.
Yeah, it's going to go into the coffee fund. So. Awesome. Well, Jason doesn't. Are you familiar with what we ask all of our guests, Jason, on the show?
No.
All right. So the question that we always ask is, what are you most thankful for today? So, Jason, I'm going to have Jason ask you that question, Rebecca.
What are you most thankful for today?
I am thankful for my family.
Oh, yes.
All my family, including my baby brother, Rob.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
She gave me the name Rob, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because my real name is Robin.
Oh, wow.
And she started calling me Rob.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that.
So I was the very first person to start calling you Rob, and it just kind of continued from there.
Hopefully my daughter will move away from Big Mac.
Yeah. All right. Well, and by the way, my sister's boss is a guy named Craig Engelman, and I used to broadcast his son when he played baseball at Georgetown High School.
Oh, wow,
so Craig's a good guy.
Yep.
So you better get off, though, because Craig's going to text me and say, quit interrupting my employees while they're trying to work. All right, sis. Love you. Have a blessed day.
Yep, you too. Love you too.
All right, bye-bye. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that was great.
What's really cool about these is it saves them, and so it saves our calls. They're all recorded through the service.
Yeah.
And I was able to go back and find my dad's. Man. It just melted my heart whenever I had that. Yeah, it was just wonderful. So there you go. I think my sister's accidentally calling me for some reason, so I'll ignore that. I don't know what happened there. All right, well, that'll wrap it up here on a Kyle Kreiner saying, have a great day, Robin. Thanks a lot. By the way, I didn't get a chance to say hi to all of you. Jennifer Augustinetti saying it's Thankful Thursday. Love you, Jennifer. So great to hear from you. Said, I'm thankful for God's blessings. Y'all have a blessed day. Quentin Glaze, our number one engager. Good morning. Pop's Woodshop. That's Scott Vallie, Steph's husband, joining us earlier today. Tammy Trotter over at Tomorrow's Promise saying, good morning, Huntsville. Steph Vallie, who is here in studio. Kathy Schweitzer, one of our awesome HISD trustees, joining the show this morning as always. Good to see you, Kathy. Oh, Kathy, by the way, I've got some jewelry for you. I didn't tell you this yet, Kathy. I started going through everything. You won one of the hours from the Rays of Hope. And I'll get with you soon, Kathy. But you have won. The Horn family joining us. Good morning, y'all. Have an amazing day. And Kyle was saying this while ago. Morning, y'all, from Foley, Ablama. Yes, I spelled it right. Is that supposed to be Alabama? But is that how you say Alabama? If you're,
he said he spelled it right. So
how would you say that word? Ablama. That's how my daughter would say it. Randolph Thompson, good buddy over there at Granny Mary's, messaging in this morning too. Randy, great to hear from you as well, and a lot of folks also with us today. That'll wrap it up. We'll be back at it tomorrow. The restaurant report makes a return tomorrow with Billy Cawthon. Excited to close out the week with Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Also, we have planned a spotlight show that's going to be coming up once a quarter. We haven't done it in a long time, but once a quarter we try to have a hometown spotlight where we're actually on location. We are going to be at the Sam Houston State University bookstore later on this month with Garrick Long, and we'll be live from the bookstore. That's going to be on a Friday edition as well, so make sure that you stay locked in all week long and all month long as we continue to promote the good here. And, of course, on Monday, our 300th episode, which is going to be exciting. One final person joined, Darlene Jackson, saying, good morning, Pastor and Rob.
Hey, Darlene.
And Darlene, we didn't get a photo. She won the grand prize from Rays of Hope.
Oh, great.
The diamond earrings from Elliot's Jewelers. She won the grand of the grand. We had 2 sets of them, and hers was the top one. So she won the diamond earrings. And congratulations, Darlene. I asked Molly, I said, where are those earrings? She goes, oh, Darlene came and got them. I was like, great, because I had them in a little safe place to give away. So, all right, well, that'll wrap it up. Jason, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you, brother. It's been a great day.
A lot of fun. We got to go. We got to get to work, man. So we love you, Huntsville, as always. Ending the show with this message that we aren't strong enough alone to make it on our own. We really do need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. We'll be back at it again tomorrow morning at 7:30. So make sure to join us. Until then, so long and God bless. Thanks, Pastor.
God bless you.
They're building bridges strong, not barriers so tall. Loving like Jesus did, answering the call.